One of the really interesting experiences I had in my life was when I was at Bain & Company, and we went through a very difficult time, and the organization had been high-flying and everything was great, and then we hit a bad cycle and we had to significantly reduce the size of the organization, and it was the interpersonal relationships and the culture was so important. It was like a violation of a contract. It was really devastating. And so I'll never forget, we went out to the Red Lion Inn out in Stockbridge, and we spent days on this question in some ways that of mission, what is it that we want to build and what is it that we want to do? And we developed this very simple construct that I think of often, and we ended up, after I can't tell you how many hours of discussion, going to a flip chart, and it ended up being a visualization of a big circle. And if you think about putting an X in the circle, so you basically have 4 quadrants. And we started and said, we want Bain to play a role in the things for us that are important in life. And we, maybe as consultants, we grossly oversimplified and put things that are important in life into 4 buckets. And then we talked about how our role at Bain would play a role. And that bottom bucket was our basic needs. And so we started and said, we all have to have food and shelter. And then on the right quadrant, we said, and then we have experiences. And in life, we want experiences, whether it's athletic experience or music experiences. We just are an experiential race, and that's an important part of being. And then on the other quadrant, we said, and we are a relationship people, so relationships are important to us, whether it's family or friends. And then at the top, little apex of the circle, we said, and we are purposeful people, and so it's important to us in our lives to have impact. And so whether that's through charitable giving, et cetera. We said, okay, if that's what's important to us in life, how do we make our work at Bain fit into that? And obviously it has to fit our basic needs. It's about experiences and how we learn and grow. It's about the relationships that we form with both colleagues and, in our case, clients. And then it's the impact that our work has. And what we realized, because we had a huge range of people, we had people who were right out of school, and we had people who were close to retirement. And we said, what's interesting is how you think about the relative weighting of those is very dynamic, and it changes. And early in your career, you're worried about the basic needs. I mean, you need to pay the rent and eat, feed yourself. And you focus a ton on experience. You just want to be exploring and learning and doing as much as you can. And over time, that shifts. You find that the relationship piece is really key because you develop, and I think many of us end up working with people that we have worked with before, we've developed relationships before, and then when you hire people into your organization, you go and you bring some of those people in, so that relationship piece. And then I think in your later years, you feel like, okay, I've kind of experienced a lot and I've built relationships. Now I want to see what kind of an impact. And I think it's important for all of us to recognize that there's not a single set of criteria on which it will be static and we'll think about what we want to do. And for everyone, recognize how that's dynamic and how, if you have young children, you've got certain demands. If your children, like I this year became an empty nester, and it's like I can spend all the time I want at work. It's like, well, I'm not sure that's really what I should be doing. But your needs change, and I think my advice would be just recognize what's important in your life and how work fits into it and how it changes.